farming, like that's been one thing. Yeah, so my grandfather, I think, moving from the south, moving up, doing what he's doing. He's always been a lazy man. As we got older, I think at 17, 18, I think I started to really experience puberty, and I started to outlash in the sense of, I don't remember. I feel like I didn't yell at him, but I would yell at my mother in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think they didn't really probably know what was going on. They probably thought he's just on puberty or something like that. But it was really like it probably now was a sign that I needed some type of counseling or therapy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like I was having temper tantrums, but my mom was just like, I'm an only child, so she's very like needy, and I love spending time with my friends. My friends were in a had $500,000 house, 10 bedrooms,
Goddamn.
swimming pool, basketball court. We could bring over girls all day.
Right.
So why would I ever be at home sitting with you, mom,
I feel you.
when I could be with my friends playing video games up all night, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we started to bump heads. My mom didn't come to my senior prom because I got my ears pierced. Like my mom is like one of those stand up straight. You should be going to church. Still sends me passages. Like, and bless her heart for being like that.
Right.
Because honestly, she shows me that no matter what, you could still be righteous.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess not having experience or previous experience of having the right direction of how to raise a child. Because
Right.
when you see white people, honestly, I hate to use them as an example, but in a sense, I appreciate how they raise their children. Because on one sense, they can be disciplinary.
Mm-hmm.
On one sense, they're like, yo, let him do whatever he
Completely
wants
passive.
to,
Right.
so he can mentally move past the barriers. See, we teach our kids barriers at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk, don't scream,
Yeah.
don't walk. You walking, be in your room, stay in your room. It's
Right.
like,
And that's the time where we need to go and explore because we're coming up and we need to experience things to know what can we do and what can't we do.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I definitely feel what you're saying, and it's funny because I was just actually talking to my cousin earlier this morning. He's actually he's homeless, you know, out in the Hawthorne or Torrance or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I am. I was concerned at first because I never. I told us I was like, dude, I've known you for X amount of years. Of course, since he was young, he would always come to my house over the weekend.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And it annoyed me because I basically had to take care of him. It's like, dude, this is not my kid. You know what I'm saying? So that was a responsibility, and I hated my mom for that shit and my uncle because it's like what the fuck? Like what am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
this shit I want to go do. You know what I mean? Because I didn't even realize at that time that I was a real secluded or introvert person. You know what I'm saying? So you know I'm just pissed off. You know a lot of the times because it's like I got to deal with this fucking dude, this kid technically. But I told him like man I never knew if he was lying to me. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell if he was a fib. For some reason, I could tell with anybody else if they're lying to me. For some, with him, I can never fucking tell.
damn,
You know what I mean? But I understand it's because he was around me that much when we was younger. He picked up my personality.
mm,
So now it's like, damn. So maybe that's what I sound like if I'm talking and people can't tell if I'm lying or something.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But lo and behold, man, I guess thankfully he was around me as much as he was because he's doing great
wow,
being homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like his whole life, and same thing with me, my whole life, most of it. He's been raised by women. You know what I'm saying? His dad, my uncle, okay, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? He did try and whatever, but I don't know his whole story to even be telling it. But like his mom always gave him shit. He was staying with his auntie for hell long, always giving him shit. When he stayed with his grandma, she was constantly giving him shit. Even when he came to my house, my mom, a giver, just constantly giving shit. You know what I'm saying? You're teaching us technically nothing. You're teaching us to rely on you and for us to never leave. You know what I'm saying? His auntie went back to Arizona to stay with her sister because she's sick or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He had the option to go there. You know what I mean? He said he basically lied to her. It was like, nah, I'm gonna go back to the Bay with me or whatever. But I already knew that wasn't gonna happen because I knew he didn't want to do that. So I was like, okay, what are you gonna do? He was like, shit, just be homeless, man. Just and he's been learning the correct way. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was hella fuck, my depression years was what 16 to 22 or 16 to 21. But I think it was definitely after high school when it hit. Like I was suicide was just, and I appreciate suicide, but that's a whole nother thing. But uh, shit, what was I just talking about?
So your cousin, um,
Oh,
learning from you. Okay.
yeah. So yeah.
Doing well.
He. I just. I've never. This is kind of going back to like me saying something to you on the bus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's starting to just talk to random people. You know what I'm saying? Random people is talking to him. Like he finds work every now and again, just chilling in the spot and be like, yo man, can you come help me out? Or they offer him shit. And that's the one thing I love. They offered him things. You're like, yo, you need some food, you need some money or whatever. Just random people, and he denies it because he knows his upbringing up until his auntie moved to Arizona, which was literally what 2 or 3 weeks ago. Everything was given to him. He doesn't want that no more.
Yeah.
Even same thing with me. I don't want that no more. I don't want to go back to the Bay and live with my mom or no shit like that. But now I feel that I know what my path is. Like this whole podcast shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It can be taken as a hobby or it can be taken as a money making thing. But the reality of it is like we don't have conversations like this. People don't open up and talk to people randomly on the street. I know I do it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel more comfortable with society's outsiders than I do with society.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and he's learning, and he's learning. I'm just, it's just, it's a smile on my face. It's a smile on my heart. It's like, dude, man, like yeah. Because I never understood. It's like, how are you gonna do music if you don't put yourself out there? He has to learn how to do it because uh, when you're just stuck in a place in a central location, whether it be if you're in a car, then the community is your whatever to live in to roam or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But just having an apartment, you always have a safe haven, so to speak, to come back to. But if it's not your own energy, then how can you manifest, produce, and create? You know what I'm saying? Like that was definitely the thing with me and my girl. Like it was a lot of her energy in here. Like I didn't hang none of my shit up in here,
Yeah.
but I never felt that it like I had a place to, what I mean, to have my own energy. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
To create that shit. So like thank God he's learned, and I had to learn it too in the streets because I got kicked out fucking when I was either 18, 19, or 21 of the motherfucking times. I enjoyed being in the streets, man. Like talking to homeless people, man, chilling in a park. It's like it's just you're free. I didn't care about the next meal. You know what I'm saying? Like you find food when you find food.
Right.
You know how to preserve your energy. And I watch a lot of fucking like animal documentaries and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker, if they don't have food for the day, they're not about to exert themselves to go looking for food. It's like, you know what I mean? They go take their time. They got to be where they got to be or whatever. If it really is to the point where it's like, yo, I need it. If that first fucking prey, if they don't get that first prey, and they realize that they're that hungry that mentally they have to change their strategy to get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's doing. That's what anybody who's been in the streets. That's what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Nah, I mean,
man,
I feel like that's all great points, and man, I keep blessings and prayers for your cousin as well,
mm-hmm.
Because he's gonna find his way. Long as it doesn't lead into people or things trying to influence him in terms of drugs, and But at the end of the day, homeless is not a bad thing.
It's definitely
Being
not.
homeless is not a bad thing. Homeless just means you're detached, and it's nothing more. I feel like um, more not spiritual, but more
I would almost say spiritual.
spiritual. And I want to say a word that kind of is like not caveman. It's and it's not tribal. I cannot think of it, but